I just wrapped up a session with one of my clients. And although they're one-on-one sessions, there will sometimes be something that Holy Spirit gives me to share that he impresses on me. He's like, you need to make a message about that. And this is a quick message, but for those of you who are in restoration or standing for marriage restoration, thank you, Holy Spirit. And you may have been struggling with certain things that your spouse has done in the past that may have been facts, that may have been valid, and you have no explanation for it. You don't have any clarity on it. It's like it's still kind of in the air, like you've been healed from it, you've been set free from it, you've been delivered from it, like you no longer struggle with it, but it was never explained why things happen. I will say this. Sometimes, many times, the Lord will give us explanations for things that have taken place, the who, what, when, where's, and why's. But more times, there are times that God chooses to not explain why something took place. Whenever that's the case, he gives you peace for what you no longer have clarity or an explanation for. He gives you closure on that. And one thing that Holy Spirit used to tell me, and I shared this with my client, is your peace and your closure is your debt being paid in full for that particular offense. So I hope this kind of gives you a different perspective. There are some things that maybe your spouse has done, your enemy has done, your coworker has done. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I even hear maybe a family member maybe mishandled you or took advantage of you. You know, whatever that looks like. Everybody has something of an offense that someone has had with them. If for whatever reason, you know you've done the full healing process for that and you've gotten over that, God is a just God. So even if you've gotten over it, God will still vindicate you in a way where justice is served, right? Sometimes justice is not always the downfall or karma of others. Sometimes justice is the peace that you've gotten, the closure that you've gotten. But if that's you and you have an area where you feel like that applies, like Holy Spirit is quickening in you for that, your peace and your closure is your debt being paid in full. Justice has been served. Like he's like, daughter, son, you don't have an explanation for this. Instead of giving you an explanation, I chose to give you peace instead. I chose to give you closure instead. Now your debt is paid in full. So you can write it off as paid in full. That way you should no longer struggle with it. I see this as some of you have, struggled with it. And this is strategies. This is language for you now to know what to do with it. I also see another group of people, of some of you who have kind of written it off and you're just like, I don't struggle with that anymore. I'm good. I set them free. Like they don't have to worry about hurting me like that. That's fine. But don't reject this message if Holy Spirit is trying to at least show you that justice was served, but he chose to do it in a way of giving you peace for it and giving you closure. He's just righting the wrongs. Thank you, Holy Spirit, that you've had to endure. So again, just another tip, another Holy Spirit 101, just to kind of give you a little bit of clarity on something that you may be struggling with.